Are you stuck trying to choose between the Sony FX3 and FX6? You're not alone. In this video, I'm going to break down everything you need to know about these two amazing cameras. After spending a lot of time with both, I can confidently say they're game changers. But here's the thing. While they're both part of Sony's cinema lineup and share a lot of similarities, they're designed for different kinds of creators. So, the big question isn't which one's better, but which one is the perfect fit for you. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which camera should be in your hands. Let's get into it. Let's start with the numbers. As of now, the Sony FX3 comes in just under $3,700, while the FX6 is priced significantly higher, around $6,000. Keep in mind, that's just for the body. You'll still need to budget for lenses, memory cards, batteries, and other accessories. But if we're talking strictly camera body, it's a clear win for the FX3 in terms of price. Of course, as we dive into the specs and features later in this video, the real question becomes whether that $2,300 difference is worth it for you. If budget is a top priority, the FX3 already looks like the smarter choice. But there's a lot more to consider. Now let's get into the real meat of the comparison, the specs and features. Both the FX3 and FX6 come equipped with full-frame sensors, boasting 10.2 megapixels. They also share the ability to shoot in 10-bit 4x2x2 internally. And while the FX3 outputs 16-bit RAW via HDMI, the FX6 gives you both HDMI and SDI output options for added flexibility. When it comes to internal recording, the FX3 offers more variety with a range of bit rates, frame rates, and file sizes to suit different project needs. I'll put up a list of those options so you can see the versatility it provides. On the other hand, the FX6 sticks to just two recording modes, XAVCI and XAVCL. A key difference here is that the MXF files from the FX6 tend to be much smoother to edit, with seamless playback in Premiere and Resolve, whereas the FX3's files can be more demanding on your system, often requiring proxy editing for larger projects, even on high-end PCs. As for frame rates, both cameras can shoot up to 60 frames per second in DCI 4K, 120 frames per second in UHD 4K, and even up to 240 frames per second in Full HD. In terms of autofocus, the FX3 and FX6 are neck and neck, both featuring 627 phase detection points and Sony's excellent face and eye autofocus system, which allows you to tweak focusing speed and transitions. You can also use the touchscreen for quick focus adjustments. Both cameras include timecode, dual memory card slots, and come with dedicated audio handles that support two XLR microphones for pro-level audio. So, up to this point, the differences in specs aren't exactly game changers. They're pretty similar in what they offer. The real choice may come down to workflow preferences and handling, which we'll touch on next. A key difference between the FX3 and FX6 is the FX6's electronic internal ND filter. This feature allows for quick exposure adjustments with the press of a button, making it ideal for outdoor shooting or situations where you move between different lighting environments. It also has an auto mode that smoothly shifts ND stops, providing even more flexibility. In contrast, the FX3 lacks this internal ND, requiring the use of traditional screw-on filters. However, it compensates with built-in image stabilization, which the FX6 does not offer. While the FX6 records gyro data for stabilization in post-production, the decision here comes down to whether you prioritize the convenience of the electronic ND or the stabilization offered by IBIS. Both features are valuable, but which one suits your workflow better is the key consideration. It's also worth noting that the FX3 can shoot stills, while the FX6 cannot. However, with its video-centric design and lack of a viewfinder, the FX3 isn't typically used as a stills camera, but it's a feature to keep in mind. The FX3 uses standard Sony NPF mirrorless batteries, while the FX6 utilizes larger BPU batteries, allowing for longer shooting times without needing V-locks or external power sources. Both cameras are claimed to be dust and water resistant, though neither is designed to handle more than a light drizzle. The FX3 does feel a bit more rugged, making it potentially better suited for harsher environments like mountain shoots. Overall, the FX6 holds an edge in features, especially with the convenience of its electronic ND filter, which many may find more valuable compared to the FX3's IBIS. Both cameras are incredibly capable, but the ND filter gives the FX6 a slight advantage in versatility. When it comes to how these specs and features impact the final image quality, the differences are surprisingly minimal. In most cases, the footage from both the FX3 and FX6 is nearly indistinguishable. Your clients, stakeholders, or even casual viewers are unlikely to notice any real differences between them. That said, if you're actively looking for subtle variations, the FX6 does have a slight edge. Straight out of the camera, its footage tends to look a bit more natural, with slightly better highlight roll-off. However, in terms of color science and handling of skin tones, both cameras perform very similarly, especially once the footage is color-corrected and graded. Given how close the results are, it's fair to call this a draw, with the FX6 having a very slight advantage in certain areas. But for most users, the difference in image quality is negligible. In terms of ease of use, both the FX3 and FX6 have a learning curve, especially if you're using Log3, and Cine AI mode. The FX3 will feel more familiar to those used to Sony's mirrorless cameras like the A7 III or A7S III, thanks to its similar ergonomics and menu system. It's also smaller and lighter, making it easier to handle. The FX6, designed more like a traditional cinema camera, similar to Sony's FS series or Canon C100 and C200. So FX6 may seem intimidating at first. However, its layout with physical buttons and modular design allows for extensive customization and rigging, which could be a significant advantage once you're accustomed to it. For long-term use, the FX6 versatility and dedicated video camera features give it a slight edge in terms of ease of use. If I had to pick just one, the FX6's form factor and internal ND filter make it my top choice. I've found it to be more versatile than expected, making it worth the extra $2,300. However, it's important to remember that both cameras are excellent, and the best choice depends on your specific needs. I hope this video has helped you determine which camera might be right for you. If you found this review useful, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content. You can also follow us on social media. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!